You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to stay quiet so others could feel comfortable. You were never meant to apologize for the way your soul shines when it's finally free. There's a part of you, the real you, that remembers how to lead, how to speak with fire and love in the same breath, how to radiate power without performance, how to be the light that awakens others, not because you're trying, but because you are. That part of you is not broken. It's just been hidden under layers of shame, people-pleasing, trauma survival, and watered-down versions of your truth, but not anymore. Because this is the moment you remember. You are the embodiment of divine light. You are the living flame of spiritual sovereignty. You are the radiant body in motion. And today, we rise with Guru Singh, the 10th Guru, the lion of divine presence, the embodiment of spiritual royalty. Now, to activate your 10th energy body, to reclaim your radiance, I want you to start by saying this: I will no longer dim to be digestible. So are you ready? Let's go. Hey, soul family. I'm Cherry, your spiritual life coach, numerologist, Lemurian guide, and truth mirror. I work with sensitive, soulful, visionary women who are done shrinking for others, apologizing for their boundaries, numbing their spiritual gifts, leading from burnout instead of embodiment. I'm here to wake up the radiant ones, the ones who are born to lead, but not get buried under people-pleasing and pain. So if that's you, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're just remembering. And in this video, we'll explore the teachings of Guru Singh through the lens of the energy body 10, the radiant body, and activate the parts of you that knows that you are light. You don't need to seek it. So who was Guru Singh? He was not just a spiritual master. He was a divine warrior, a poet, a leader of destiny. He was born in 1666, and he became the 10th Guru and lived through some of the most violent and oppressive times in Indian history. He lost his father, mother, and all 4 of his sons to persecution and war, but he never wavered in his light. Instead of collapsing, he created. He founded a spiritual collective of sovereignty, fearless warriors, devoted to truth, justice, and divinity. He led not through fear, but through presence. He once said, "When all means fail, it is righteous to raise the sword." But his sword wasn't just steel, it was consciousness. Guru Singh embodied Energy Body 10, the radiant body, as a living example of strength without cruelty, leadership without ego, presence without apology. He taught his followers to wear turbans not as decoration, but as a crown, to stand tall in their sovereignty, to bow, but only to the divine within. He didn't teach submission. He taught sacred embodiment. And that's exactly what you're being called into now. Let's decode the radiant body. So if the subtle body, Energy Body 9, was your energetic discernment, the radiant body is your energetic declaration. This is the body that projects your soul's light. It's how your presence is felt before you speak a word. It's your aura's wattage, your leadership essence, your divine magnetism. You can think of it like your spiritual crown. So what does the radiant body do? It amplifies your inner light into the outer world, makes you visible to aligned opportunities, people, and timelines, protects you through frequency. You don't need to repel force. You radiate what no longer matches. Anchors divine leadership through embodiment, not performance. Allows you to command space without domination. When your radiant body is strong, people don't just hear you, they feel you. You don't chase, you attract. You don't need to defend. Your energy speaks truth before your mouth ever moves. So here are some signs of a strong, radiant body. You walk into a room and people pause. You speak from the soul, not ego and others. You radiate confidence, even in silence. You attract respect without demanding it. You're aligned with your mission and unapologetic in your expression. You feel guided from within, and you're no longer begging for outside validation. You don't need permission. You are the permission slip. That's radiant body frequency. So signs of a weak or distorted radiant body: when this body is dimmed, distorted, or disconnected, you feel invisible or energetically small. You struggle to be heard, seen, or even taken seriously. You collapse into people-pleasing or over-explaining. You attract energy vampires or dominant personalities. You question your value constantly, even when you're over-delivering. So let me say this with love. Your light doesn't need fixing. It needs claiming. The Lemurian view of the radiant ones in Lemurian priesthoods. The radiant ones were known as the crowned ones. They had earned their light through spiritual embodiment. They weren't chosen by vote. They were recognized by vibration. Their presence calmed chaos. Their truth activated remembrance. Their frequency aligned timelines. They didn't perform power. They became it. And this isn't just ancient fantasy. This is in you that's been waiting underneath all the not enough stories. You ready to meet her? Let's move into the numerology of the 10, divine leadership and soul embodiment. In numerology, the number 10 is sacred. It is the final step in the soul's single-digit journey, the embodiment of all that came before. It combines the 1, which is leadership, individuality, the soul spark, and the 0, divine wholeness, source energy, infinity. So when we talk about the number 10, we're not just talking about leadership. We're talking about embodied, aligned, radiant leadership. So what does the 10 actually represent? Spiritual authority that doesn't need to shout. Wholeness, not missing, not lacking. Completion of karmic patterns. The courage to live your soul truth, not society's expectations. Visibility without performance. This is the number of leaders who lead not through fear or force, but through frequency. Leaders who have met their shadow and risen anyway. Numerology 10 in the shadow. When you're not fully owning your radiant body, plus the 10 frequency, it can show up as trying to fix others to feel worthy, burning out from over-delivering or over-giving, feeling resentful when unrecognized, collapsing when your leadership isn't affirmed externally, fearing the spotlight even though you crave visibility. And here's the thing, my love, your radiance doesn't need to be earned. It already exists. You just need to stop dimming it. So the leadership of the 10, this is the energy of Guru Singh. He didn't wait to be invited. He didn't ask for approval. He declared the creation of the sovereign spiritual order through divine clarity. He said, this order is my own form. That's radiant body energy. He saw his leadership not as ego, but as a vessel for divine light. And so must you. Because here's the truth. If you have a message in your soul, a calling in your body, and a vision in your third eye, then you have a responsibility to radiate, not perform, not convince, radiate. Just like Guru Singh, just like the Lemurian crowned ones, just like you, my beloved. Let's move into the Lemurian radiance, the temple of embodied light and soul leadership. In ancient Lemuria, there was no word for celebrity. There was only luminary. A luminary wasn't famous, they were felt. They were the ones whose frequency nourished the field, who walked with such inner clarity, such energetic coherence, that simply being in their presence made others remember who they really were. That, beloved, is the radiant body leadership. In the Temple of Light, there was a sacred teaching known as the Temple of Embodied Light, where initiates weren't taught how to shine. They were taught how to stop dimming. They were taught how to hold their frequency when others projected their shadows, how to radiate truth even when misunderstood, how to walk through the world as a beacon, not a mirror for others' approval. They were taught that their light was not ego, but it was service. The Lemurian radiant priests and priestesses, these beings were called frequency keepers. They wore sacred symbols not for decoration, but as codes of remembrance. Were trained to anchor timelines simply by entering a space, never forced, begged or hustled. They attracted what matched their vibration, and they weren't born special. In ancient Lemuria, there was no word for celebrity. There was only luminary. A luminary wasn't famous. They were felt. They were the ones whose frequency nourished the field, who walked with such inner clarity, such energetic coherence, that simply being in their presence made others remember who they really were. That, beloved, is radiant body leadership. In the Temple of Light, there was a sacred teaching known as the Temple of Embodied Light, where initiates weren't taught how to shine. They were taught how to stop dimming. They were taught how to hold their frequency when others projected their shadows, how to radiate truth even when misunderstood, how to walk through the world as a beacon, not as a mirror for others' approval. They were taught that their light was not ego, it was service. The Lemurian radiate priests and priestesses. These beings were called frequency keepers. They wore sacred symbols not as decorations, but as codes of remembrance, were trained to anchor timelines simply by entering a space, never forced, begged, or hustled. They attracted what matched their vibration, and they weren't born special. They became luminous by clearing their karmic noise, owning their soul's path, leading with humility and sovereignty. So radiance isn't about being light, it's about being lit. And let's be real, many of us listening here have been attacked for your light. You've been told you're too much, criticized for shining too brightly, made small by those intimidated by your energy, left out because your truth was inconvenient. But I'm here to tell you this, that was never about you. It was about the unprocessed shadows of others trying to find a shape in your radiance and failing. So stop shrinking for people committed to misunderstanding you. Start shining for the ones who are waiting to remember themselves through your light. That is Lemurian. That is divine. That is radiant body mastery. And now it's time to embody it. I want to take you through an embodiment radiant body daily practice. To shine, radiance isn't performance, it's practice. And when you nurture your 10th energy body, not from ego, but from energetic hygiene and spiritual integrity, your life begins to reflect that inner sovereignty. So here are powerful Lemurian aligned ways to activate and sustain your radiant body in everyday life. First, a morning radiant practice invocation. Before you touch your phone, before your feet hit the floor, before you enter the world, place your hands on your solar plexus and heart and say out loud, I claim my light. I do not shrink to be safe. I radiate from soul, not ego. May my energy be a blessing to those aligned and a boundary to those not. Feel the vibration. Own your crown before the world places labels on your head. Second, a radiance reset ritual. You can do this weekly. The radiant body can get clouded by emotional debris, overgiving, people-pleasing, spiritual overstimulation. Cleansing with a sacred bath or shower. Add Epsom salts, lemon or grapefruit essential oils to clear dull energy. A single candle, which is your inner flame. As water touches you, affirm, I cleanse what isn't mine. I recharge in truth. I radiate from divine clarity. Let the water carry away anything that dims your crown. Thirdly, a solar central breath work. You can do this daily. Your radiant body is projected from your third eye chakra and the solar plexus. This simple breath work awakens your fire without frying your nervous system. So to do this, you inhale through the nose for 4, you hold for 4, and you exhale through the mouth for 6. Visualizing golden light glowing from your belly, expanding around your body. Do 3 rounds and feel your field expand. You'll be magnetic, clear, and grounded. Fourth, the mirror gaze. Again, another weekly practice. Radiant reflection. Look into your own eyes, not for flaws, but for frequency. See the one who has survived, the one who remembers, the one who leads by being, and say to your reflection, you are seen, you are sacred, you are sovereign light. Let the words root in your auric field. 5, radiant boundaries. Radiance without boundaries equals burnout. So learn this phrase and use it. That's not aligned with how I choose to use my energy right now. No justification, no apology, just clarity. Every no becomes a deeper yes to your mission. I want to take you through a radiant body activation, a guided Lemurian light practice. I invite you to close your eyes, sit or lay down, and let your body soften and your field open. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And another. Feel the weight of the world drop from your shoulders. You are entering a sacred remembering. Visualize yourself standing at the threshold of a glowing white golden temple. It radiates peace, power, and sovereignty. This is the temple of radiant embodiment, the place where Lemurian light begins to become your crown in frequency, not ego. You walk forward, barefoot, grounded and ready. The crowned ones inside the temple. You are greeted by 10 of these beings of light, each representing one of your 10 energy bodies. But the 10th steps forward now, clad in radiant white and gold. Eyes like stars. They are your radiant body guide. They place your hands on your solar plexus and your crown simultaneously. They whisper, you are ready, you are whole, you are the light embodied. Breathe this in. Feel the solar center ignite. Golden fire spiraling outwards, forming an aura around your body, just like a sun. A glowing golden crown made of light descends from above. It rests not on your head as a symbol of domination, but as a seal of remembrance. You are not here to rule others. You are here to lead through frequency. You are here to embody light, courage, and truth. Just like Guru Singh, the temple echoes, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sovereign One, rise. Let those words land in your cells. The light now pours into your entire body, down your spine, into your bones, through your palms, into your field, your radiant body. Your 10th energy body is awakened now. You are not chasing light. You are the light. Let it radiate outwards to your home, your business, your relationships, your future. Begin to breathe deeply again. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Bring your attention back into your body. Wriggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your shoulders. And when you are ready, begin to open your eyes softly. You are not the same. You are radiant. You are sovereign. You are ready. You are the crown you've been waiting for. Let this land in your field. You don't need to be louder. You don't need to be more anchored. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. You don't need to wear a crown. You need to remember that you are one. Guru Singh didn't wait for the world to validate his divinity. He declared it. He embodied it. He radiated it. He paid the price for presence and pain, loss and sacrifice, and still chose to shine, not from ego, but from essence. And you, Radiant One, you've been through the fire too. You've been misunderstood, diminished, doubted. You've lost things you thought would destroy you, but you're still here, still sovereign and still sacred. So I'm going to say it plainly. You are not too sensitive. You're highly perceptive. You're not too much. You're finally visible. You are not intimidating. You just stopped shrinking. And the world needs that light. So remember, you don't need to convince anyone to see your worth. You don't need to explain your boundaries to be valid. You don't need to shrink to survive. You don't need to overgive to feel valuable. And you don't need to dim your truth to be loved. You just need to remember who you are. Your radiance is a revolution. So if this transmission stirred something in your field, if your soul whispered, yes, this is who I am, then now is the time to rise. Book a self-empowerment strategy session with me. Let's strengthen your radiant body. Let's clear what dims you. Let's embody the sovereign leader you came here to be, because your radiance isn't a trend, it's a revolution. And the time is now. If this activation stirred something in your soul, if it reminded you of your power, your path, or your purpose, don't let it be the last time we connect. Hit subscribe, tap that notification bell so you don't miss an episode, and join this sacred space in remembrance and reclamation. This isn't just a YouTube channel. It's a temple, a vortex, a portal for the new earth. And if this landed for you, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who needs it, and drop a heart or fire emoji in the comments, or an aha moment that spoke to you. Let's keep this frequency alive and echoing. Until next time, stay grounded, stay golden, and never forget, you are the miracle you've been waiting for, with fierce love and starlight truth. Until next time. And if you still haven't figured out what your numerology chart says about you, in the description box below, you'll find my quick free guide to numerology, where you can calculate your numbers and find out what energy you're working with in this lifetime.